Welcome back to the D&D Talk Wrestling Weekly Rewind. Again, as you can see, my boy's not here. Last week he had a little bit of an ear. He couldn't hear in his ear. Then they found out the air conditioner was, made a water slide in his bedroom. Pause. This week he's currently driving down to Florida. Not going to Disney. They're going a couple hours outside to go see his girl's sister. But they're driving down with him, his girl, and the 3 kids. So just a moment of silence, please, for that. Because I would need alcohol. But because of that, obviously I need a guest host, and there's something special that's going on with this. So I figured for my guest hosts, I have 2. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, maybe throwing up the 2 sweet. Why? There's a reason. We'll get into it later. Let's start with some AEW news from last week. Dynamite started off. Hangman Adam Page came out talking about his match with Moxley at All In for the world title. He wants to make it a Texas Death Match, which would be awesome. I believe they had one before, and I believe Hangman actually won that one. I could be wrong. I'm not really sure, but I think Hangman won it. I think they've had one before. Obviously, Mox came out. We're not doing that. That's not happening. Claudio returned. He was going to go attack Hangman. The Ops came out to stop him. Marina Shafir was going to hit Hangman with the briefcase with the title in it. He attacked Marina. So Mox was finally like, you know what, you're getting it. Texas Death this weekend, All In for the world title. That's awesome. Texas Death matches are really cool. Am I going to watch it? Definitely not live, because it's happening when I'm working, when I'm at work, putting my time in. Because it's on at like 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, and there's a lot of wrestling this weekend, which I'm going to talk about later. So I'll probably just watch clips on TikTok and Twitter like normal. Mercedes Moné retained her TBS title against Mina Shirakawa, with Toni Storm watching at the commentary table, which was really weird because she's been doing this thing of having food in front of her, eating the food, but she didn't even eat the food. She stared at the match the whole time. It was really weird. There was another fatal 4-way match for the number 2 spot at the men's gauntlet match at All In between MJF, AR Fox, Brody King, and Anthony Bowens. Obviously, MJF won because Mark Briscoe has the number 1 spot. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really like these gauntlet matches because the first 2 people start, I think it's 2 minutes. Another person comes in, another person comes in, another person comes in, but it stops as soon as the pin happens. There could be 5 more people in the back, 10 more people in the back. It could go down just the first 2 people. Whoever gets the pin gets the win, gets a title shot at, I think, Double or Nothing. I don't know if they've announced that part yet. But that's a really cool, different type of match. Ospreay and Swerve are still out to get their match against the Young Bucks at All In. They want the Young Bucks to put up their EVP titles, so if they lose, they lose their EVPs. Obviously, they don't want to do that because Swerve and Hangman aren't giving up anything. Swerve and Ospreay aren't giving up anything. So Ospreay looked at Swerve and was like, you know what, we didn't talk about it, but if we lose, we can't challenge for the title for a year. And you can see, because Swerve was like, whoa, what? Hold on. We're not doing that. But that's what was able to get them the match. So at All In, it's the Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay. EVP ship versus getting a title match for a year. It's only for a year, so I feel like they might lose, but I'm going to talk about that later because I have all the matches for the weekend. That was pretty much all the stuff on Dynamite. Collision over the weekend. Scorpio Sky returned after nearly 2 years of being off TV to accept Max Caster's open challenge. Max Caster's in the ring, obviously doing the "Let's go, Max, you're the best wrestler alive," trying to get the chant going with the crowd. It's funny because he's trying to do it as a heel thing, but it's working as a face because now they're starting to do it. But then, like, a training montage video came up. You see Scorpio Sky return with Christopher Daniels and Top Flight, which was really cool. Like, they were basically training him to come out. Obviously, Scorpio Sky won. After the match, Christopher Daniels entered the ring, so it kind of looks like he's going to be Scorpio's manager, which is cool. They were in SoCal and Uncensored together. Obviously, we know a couple months ago Christopher Daniels retired. And speaking of Christopher Daniels, he tricked me. He was on Chris Van Vliet, and he even tricked Chris. They were talking about his eye incident in the match against the Bucks. He got super kicked in the face, and it was a little bruised around, but his eye was like bloodshot for, I don't know, a year, 2 years. It was a contact. Tricked me, tricked Valet, probably tricked a whole bunch of people. He was talking to Abaddon, one of the female wrestlers who wears contacts, does stuff like that, and they were like, yeah, well, I can hook you up with somebody. So he called this person, got a contact, wore it for years, wore it outside of the ring, in the ring, walking through airports, at home, he would wear it everywhere. Tricked me. I shouldn't be tricked like that. Speaking of tricking me, I watched here we go, Tangent 1. I watched the Kevin Owens on What Do You Want to Talk About, Cody's podcast. Years ago, there was a tables match between Cody and Big Show for the Intercontinental title, I believe. Cody hit Big Show, and Big Show like fell off. Big Show was on the outside of the ring, outside of the ropes, fell off, and his foot went through the table, and that's how the match ended, and Cody won. And I believe that was for a title, but I could be wrong. I thought that was a botch. That's how the match was supposed to go. They tricked me. I always thought that was a botch for years, and they talked about it on there, and they were like, no, that's how it was supposed to go. Never would have guessed. Along with Scorpio debuting on Collision, Kyle Fletcher defeated Danny Garcia in a number 1 contenders match for the TNT title to now go against Adam Cole at All In. Adam Cole came out. He was going to make it a triple threat, but Garcia was like, no, if I'm going to be in this match, I want to earn it. I just don't want to be given it. I kind of had a feeling as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, Fletcher's going to win. I hope Fletcher doesn't win the title, but I knew he was going to win that match. For other AEW news, AEW celebrated the 300th episode of Dynamite and the 100th episode of Collision last week. That's awesome. They're going along. A lot of people didn't think it was going to last this long, and I'm glad it's still going. It was also announced at Pro Wrestling Eve, Sky Blue and Julia Hart are going to make their debuts on August 23rd. That's the night before Forbidden Door in the UK. I like the Forbidden Doors. I mean, the original Forbidden Door was cool because that's when they started bringing in New Japan, bringing in CMLL, bringing in the other companies. Now they're just getting sprinkled in, but I do like that. The last bit of AEW news, and this isn't going to be the last one for today. Today, happy birthday, Shelton Benjamin, man. Shout out Gold Standard. Happy birthday. For some AEW stuff that, you would usually take over, but you're too good. You're not here. Drew McIntyre finally returned to TV and ate an RKO from Randy. I think... Why do I want to say that's him coming back from WrestleMania? I could be wrong, but I feel like that's his first showing since WrestleMania. And I loved his shirt. It said bored at work, and for WrestleMania weekend, I get them to let us wear wrestling shirts. I really want to buy that one and wear it there just because it says bored at work, and I would love it. Oh, I would love it. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte defeated the Secret Hervis and B-Fab and Michin in a triple threat match to qualify for the Fatal 4-Way Women's title match at Evolution. My only problem with this, and it'll be talked about later on, they're the only team that had to earn it. I don't like that the other two teams. So it's the champs of Raquel and Roxanne versus a Raw team, a SmackDown team, and an NXT team. The SmackDown team is the only team that had to earn it. I don't like that. I think the other ones should have had to earn it as well. Tiffany Stratton came out saying, since Io picked her own challenger for Evolution, she wants to pick her own challenger at Evolution. And obviously Jade Cargill came out. It doesn't matter who's going to win it. I'm going to win at SummerSlam, blah, 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 whatever. But who did Tiffany Stratton pick? She picked the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, which is really cool. I love that there's Hall of Famers coming in. Obviously, we know Nikki was supposed to have the match against Liv, but unfortunately Liv got hurt. But now Nikki's in the Battle Royal. She was on an interview. I think she was on Busted Open even, and she said that Liv getting hurt screwed up months worth of matches storyline, because I feel like they were gonna have a match at Evolution, probably a rematch at SummerSlam, or Brie comes back and they challenge for the titles at the tag titles at SummerSlam. I feel like Liv getting hurt at this time screws up a lot of stuff, but at least Nikki's still gonna be there. She said she's not here for one match or 1 month. She's gonna be here for a while. That's awesome. Asuka and Kairi are joining forces to become the Kabuki Warriors once again, and they're going to be the Raw team in the Fatal 4 match for the Women's World Titles. Kyrie was in a match against Roxanne. Raquel came out. Asuka came out. They were battling, so obviously they went back. Hey, we wanted that match. They didn't earn it. I don't like that they didn't have to earn it. It really bothered me. Nothing really else. I mean, there's a lot of Seth group stuff, but he's not here, so thankfully we don't have to talk about it. That's a joke. I do like the stuff they're doing, but there was nothing crazy. Like, Sammy got hurt. Sammy's out indefinitely. I think Jay's hurt now because Bronson threw a chair at him. On NXT, Ricky Saints defeated the Vanity Project in a gauntlet match and earned a title match against Ethan Page for the NXT North American title at the Great American Bash over the weekend. Like I said, another pay-per-view. He was also able to pick the stipulation, and he chose a Falls Count Anywhere match, which is going to be awesome. Charlie Dempsey defeated Davion Heights to keep Heights in the North Quarter Catch Crew because he wanted the same challenge. He wanted the same match Miles Bourne got. Miles Bourne got a match against Charlie that if he won, he was out of the North Quarter Catch Crew, which is really weird because it's one of those, usually like if you lose, you're out of the club, but this is, hey, if I win, I'm out. I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't know if Dempsey's bringing more people in or not. It's really weird. Hank and Tank retained the tag titles against the Culling. It was shown that Dark State was the one that attacked Hank and Tank like 2 weeks ago. Maybe they're going after the tag titles. They did show up in TNA last week and attack Matt Cardona, which is really cool. If Cardona comes on NXT TV, that's going to blow up. That's pretty much everything that happened in the ring for WWE. Outside of the ring of WWE, we have kind of a lot of stuff. Carmelo Hayes and Kalani Jordan got engaged last weekend, July 1st. It was shown. Actually, we probably could have talked about it last week, but I didn't see it till over the weekend. It was announced on Sunday that there's going to be a triple threat match at Evolution for the women's Intercontinental title between Becky, Lyra, and Bayley. We saw that coming. We knew that was going to happen. Here we go. Why am I wearing this today? 29 years ago on Monday, the wrestling world changed forever. The legendary NWO was formed when Hulk Hogan turned his back on WCW and joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash at, shockingly enough, the Great American Bash to make the NWO. And I love the NWO, man. Like, NWO, we've said it countless times on here. NWO, DX, Aces and Eights. I feel like the Elite and maybe even now the Death Riders, they're all doing that same thing. But the NWO basically helped WCW get that year and a half lead. Get that year and a half number one spot against WWE, and I absolutely love the NWO. We've made not we, but back in the day, me and my other friend made NWO breast cancer shirts to help to put a fund in for that. I've loved every minute. I watched NWO stuff all the time. I used to love them. To go along with that, today, with Shelton Benjamin, Kevin Nash's birthday. Happy birthday, Kevin Nash. Too sweet, baby. Woo! I don't know why I did Ric Flair. There's not really any, I didn't see any like New Japan, TNA, any news like that. So I want to do a preview for all the wrestling over the weekend. I think I'm going to do what we normally do, the who I think is going to win and who should win. We're not going to count it towards anything because obviously he's not here to do it. We probably could have done it. So we recorded a lot of episodes on Monday. We recorded a podcast for last week, one for this week, and one for next week because we're not sure what's going to happen. We might wait 2 weeks to do a reaction episode to everything. We probably could have done who do we think is going to win, who is going to win, and I could have put it in here, but I feel like some of the matches weren't announced. So at the Great American Bash, NXT, Saturday afternoon, I think it's on at 2. We have Javon Evans versus Jasper Troy. I think Jasper's winning it, and I think he should win it. He's on this hot streak. He's the season 1 LFG winner, champ, whatever you want to call it, because I think they did get a title. He's on this hot streak. He needs it. There's a TNA World Championship contract signing between Trick, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. That's just a little thing, but we know somebody's going through a table. The NXT North American Women's Championship of Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dane. I don't know why this isn't on Evolution. It's kind of weird because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I mean, with the contract signing, there's 6 segments, so I guess that's why it's on here. I think Izzy Dame is gonna win it because I think Zarya is gonna come out and mess it up for Sol Ruka. Which Izzy Dane probably should win it because I don't think Sol. I think Sol still has the speed title, even though I don't do anything with that. Next is the NXT North American Championship of Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I don't know. Maybe Ethan keeps it. I feel like whoever loses is going up because Ethan Page can absolutely go to Raw or SmackDown. Ricky Saints can absolutely go to Raw or SmackDown. It'd be cool if Ricky went up and like joined up with Cody because him and Cody are like really close friends. Cody kind of needs it in the storyline if he's gonna if the rumors are true of him going up against Solo's new LFG group, My Family LFT, My Family Tree. It'd be cool to see him do that. We have Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence. I feel like Fatal Influence is going to win only because at Evolution, it's Jordynne Grace versus JC Jane for the women's title. And I think Jordynne Grace is going to win that. So I feel like Fatal Influence is going to win this. Then we have the NXT Championship of Oba Femi versus Yoshiki Inamura. Oba's going to win it. Oba's going to win it. Oba's going to retain it. I think Josh Briggs is going to screw it up for Inamura because last night on NXT, they got into it a little bit. And Briggs is like, he's the honorable man. I'm not. And he attacked Oba. I don't think Inamura liked that too much. For Saturday night main event, obviously Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Peacock, NBC. There's only 3 matches that WWE's website had, which is really weird. Maybe SmackDown will do 1 or 2 more. They have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I think Drew's going to win just because he came back. I want Randy to win. LA Knight versus Seth. Seth's going to win. Seth, I think he's going to win. He should win. And then there's the World Heavyweight Championship match of Gunther versus Goldberg. Obviously, I want Gunther to win. I don't care. I want both of them to lose. I'm was never really a Goldberg fan, especially now when he comes back and he's like, I want this, I want that, and I was never a Gunther fan. I want Gunther to win. What I'm afraid is going to happen, and he hates that I think this. I'm afraid Goldberg's going to win. He's going to win the title. Seth is cashing in, and that's how Seth gets the title. That makes Gunther a joke. That makes Jay a joke because Gunther beat Jay. That makes the Money in the Bank a joke, and that makes Seth a joke. It doesn't matter if it's Seth. It could be Seth, Cody, Cena. It could be anybody. Whoever has that Money in the Bank, if this happens, makes them a joke, and I don't like it. For Evolution, Sunday night, we have the NXT Women's Championship of JC Jane versus Jordynne Grace. Like I said, I think Grace is going to win it just because JC's been there a while. JC can... No, JC won't move up because she's in a group. Maybe JC will retain it then, now that I'm thinking about it. We have Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no holds barred match. I don't want to say I don't care, but I want Naomi to win, but I think Jade's going to win, obviously. Then there's a battle royal for a women's title match because there's women from Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So if an NXT person wins, obviously they get an NXT title. Someone on Raw wins, they get to go against whoever wins between Io and Rhea. This is at Clash. The winner gets the title match at Clash in Paris. I don't know. They haven't said anything. I think there should be some TNA women in it too. They don't have to win it. I don't think WWE would do that, but I think it's good to have some TNA women in this match. Then there's, of course, the women's tag team fatal 4-way of the champs Raquel and Roxanne versus Charlotte and Alexa versus the Kabuki Warriors versus Sol Ruka and Zarya. What I think originally was supposed to be, well, no, actually, because Liv was supposed to have a match against Nikki. Now I'm confused. Let's not. I would like Raquel or Roxanne to retain, or Charlotte and Alexa to win, because I'd love to see another title on Alexa. Charlotte doesn't need one, but of course they're together. I don't really know who deserves it though. That's a tough one. I mean, the Kabuki Warriors would be cool. I think Ruka and Zarya, they're not gonna do any of it. Maybe Raquel and Roxanne retain it, so they're actually the tag champs. So like when Liv comes back, she just can't go, hey, give me my title back. Roxanne's like, no, I want it. Like, you're not part of the champs. Maybe maybe those two have a match for that title. That'd be kind of cool. There's the WWE Women's Championship of Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. I think Tiffany Stratton's gonna win. I don't see them putting the title on Trish Stratus. The Women's Intercontinental Championship of Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria. I don't know. Maybe Becky keeps it. That's a tough one. That's probably like the match of the night, on honestly. Then there's the Women's World Championship of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. That's another one. Maybe they keep it on Io. I can see them keeping it on Io, but I can also see them giving it back to Rhea. That's another tough one that I'm not really sure of. Then, of course, we'll go back to Saturday. Now we have All In Texas, which I think, again, is on at like 2. It's Saturday afternoon. And they have the men's and women's gauntlet matches. I like seeing those. Those are cool. Obviously, the winner does get a title shot. I don't know if it's whenever they want it. I think it's a double or nothing. Then we have the Tag Team Championship triple threat match of the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, versus Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey, versus the Patriarchy of Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. I kind of want to... This is really weird and really random, but I kind of want to see Nick Wayne and Christian win it just because of those rumors of Christian making them father-son tag titles. Obviously, Jet Speed winning them would be really cool, too. The Hurt Syndicates are doing great things with them, but I could see all 3 teams winning. The NXT Championship match, Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. Unfortunately, I think Fletcher's going to win. I don't want him to. I want to see Cole keep the title, but I think Fletcher's going to win it just because he's on this hot streak. Then we have the Swerve versus Young Bucks, and again, Swerve and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. And again, if Ospreay and Swerve win, wow. The Bucks are no longer EVPs, but if the Bucks win, Swerve and Ospreay cannot challenge the world title for an entire year. I don't know who would win that. I don't know if the Bucks would stay. I can see the Bucks staying EVPs better than them losing the EVP ship. But if they do, maybe they go back to like the Bullet Club style Young Bucks. Obviously not joining the Bullet Club or making a Bullet Club, but going back to those Young Bucks would be awesome. But I can also see like, because if Ospreay and Swerve lose and they can't challenge for the world title for an entire year, you're making a feud right there between those two. Because Swerve can be like, I never agreed to this. This is terrible. Why would you do this? That's a possibility too. We have the Women's World Championship of Timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. I want Toni Storm to win, but I feel like they're putting another title on Moné. No, actually, maybe because she's got the TBS title. Would they give her the TBS and the Women's World title? I don't know. Maybe Toni Storm does keep it. Then we have the Unified Championship of Okada versus Omega, which might be my match of the night because Okada versus Omega matches are insane. Unfortunately, I think Okada is going to win it. I would love to see Omega with it, but I think Okada is going to win. And then finally, we have the AEW World Championship of Mox versus Hangman in the Texas Death Match. I would like to see Mox keep it, obviously, because I'm a huge Moxley fan, but I think Hangman's actually going to win it because they want to put it back on Hangman. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a lot of that's a lot of news, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of wrestling happening over the weekend, which is, I love it, but like, you guys are gonna wear me out. You're killing me. We don't have a typical shout out of the week. We do have a special shout out of the week. We just want to make sure we're able to say happy birthday to a certain person that is what he watches everything. He watches the rewinds. He watches the podcasts. He refuses to comment. He always tells us his comments, but happy birthday, man. We love you. He's not here, but happy birthday. I don't really have... Do I have a I have 2 promos, and I'm glad he's not here because I can do... One of my promos could be for him. I got 2 promos. Hot Pockets. What are you doing, man? Where'd the little microwavable pocket thing go? I used to use that as the plate. I go get Hot Pockets. I get the breakfast ones. They didn't have them. I was like, okay, maybe it's just a breakfast thing. I go to his house to record on Monday. Me and his girl are talking about stuff. She makes a Hot Pocket. She's like, where's the little pocket thing at? They got rid of them. Why? Then now you gotta use another plate, dirty a plate, or use a paper plate. So now we're spending more money on the paper plate. So at least make the Hot Pocket bigger or make it a little bit cheaper. I don't think they did either one of those things. But bring the little pocket back, man. I used to just have that and use that, walk around with that. My other one is random zippers on things. I recently got a pair of cargo shorts because yes, I like having the extra pockets to carry stuff. And the like flap of the cargo short had a zipper, and I'm like, that's cool. Let's see what can I do with this. What can I put in this zipper pocket? Absolutely nothing. It's just a zipper. You can't put anything in there. And I was like, what the hell is this? What? Now I'm gonna go through like a metal detector somewhere, and that zipper is gonna send the metal detector off. It might not. I don't know. But to me, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna unzip it, and the metal detector is gonna go, whoa, wait, hold on, you can't be in here with that for no reason. Why do we put random zippers on random pockets for? Let it be. It might be a design thing. I don't care. Let it be. Let it go. If it's a design thing, don't make the zipper actually work, which would be worse because then a lot of people would probably break it. You guys have anything to put in? No, just you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Obviously. I think that's it for the rewind. Obviously, it's a quick one. I tried to blow through a lot of stuff. Where I'm still not sure. We're still trying to figure out. I might do the rewind again by myself next week, because they're supposed to get home. He told me, I believe, because she's got work on Thursday, so I believe they're getting home either late Tuesday night or like early Wednesday morning. And with all the wrestling that's happening, I don't want him. He said it's hard to watch wrestling on vacation with family, which it is. That's hard to do. So I might just do the rewind again next week. I don't know if we'll talk about all the stuff from the weekend. We might make it the reaction for next week. Maybe I'll just talk about the AEW one. I don't know. We'll see. But till next week. Later, guys.